Well, we're about to bring on a guest that could certainly hit when it was hitting weather.
All the time.
His new book is called Cobra: A Life of Baseball and Brotherhood. We are thrilled to be joined by two-time World Series champion, seven-time MLB All-Star Dave Parker. Dave, thanks for the time. How are you doing today?
Doing good. And you?
We're doing very well. We're thrilled to get a chance to talk to you about this book, about your career. We'll hop right into it. Why did you decide now was the time to open up and tell this story about yourself?
Well, I tried to write a book some years ago when I first started reaching prominence in baseball. I tried to write one early, but I never got around to it. And people have always wrote about me and what their thoughts of me were. And I wanted to do something to let people know what Dave Parker's about from Dave Parker.
Dave, we all know so much about Dave Parker, but you learn so much more from your perspective through this book. What was the main mission that you had? What did you most want to get out in writing this book?
Well, the relationships. I played with a club in Pittsburgh that was really tight-knit ball club. We played together, and we did everything together. So I wanted people to kind of take a look at the relationships, because good friendship brought on wins on the ball field, and we did that extremely well.
What did you learn? The Pirates were your first team. As the team that you became a ball player on, the relationships you had, the development of one of the iconic teams of baseball. What did you learn most about those relationships, and what have you taken with you off of the field from those relationships?
Well, man, the relationships we had brought on championships, because we were a tightly knit ball club that did everything together. We were one of them clubs that if you went out to dinner after a day game in Chicago, you have 15 players at the dinner table with you. You know, we were just so close that made us unique.
You know, people talked about your size, your speed. I saw Pete Rose say that you ran so hard he could hear you running down the line. But I saw you say that people said you were the next Roberto Clemente, but you just wanted to be the first Dave Parker. What was it like to set out to be yourself through all this and the challenges that you faced?
Well, I knew I had good ability, outstanding ability. I knew that I had all the tools to be a great player, and everybody identified to Roberto. I mean, he was the great one, you know, and he was truly a great one. He was the best player in the game during his time, and I felt like I had the tools to be that type of player, and I wanted to show that. I didn't want to have people misconstrue me as a player. I wanted to establish myself.
You were not only, in my opinion, as somebody who lived in Pittsburgh for a while, somebody that developed themselves as a great player, but you developed your own personality and were not shy about it. Where did you get that from, and where did you get the confidence to kind of have that personality in a locker room that had so many, including Willie Stargell?
Well, Willie, he was the stabilizer of that club. I mean, he could come in and take over Tanner's job, and Tanner can go on vacation for a little while. Willie had that kind of leadership quality. And Tanner was ideal for the ball club because he governed with one eye and one ear. He didn't hear everything. He didn't see everything. and I was unique in my own way because I was like a sergeant of arms. I was there if somebody had problems dealing with a player. I would be the one that kind of go in and straighten things out.
You know, we talk about your personality. I saw Kenta Colby call you the Muhammad Ali of baseball, and you said when you talk, you have to back it up. He said about you, you didn't admire what he'd done. You look forward to what he would do next. What was it like to talk a big game, and then how difficult was it to actually back it up for you while you were out there? You made it look effortless from everything that I was able to see. How challenging was it to back up the talk that you brought to the field?
Well, it wasn't very hard. I just took it up on myself to do everything that I could do baseball wise, and I had the 5 tools to do it. You know, I could throw, I could run, I could hit for power, I could do all those things. So I just took it up on myself to fill in whatever the team needed.
You know, I mentioned Muhammad Ali. I saw a picture years later when you were at the Angels of you squaring off with him in the locker room. What was it like to get to actually meet him eventually?
I was hoping he didn't have no brain cramp and hit me in the jaw. You know, standing across from Ali, you know, I didn't want him to forget that we were just taking a picture.
Well, to be fair, even if he hit you in the jaw, you had already had an experience where you had an incident with the Pirates where you were wearing some equipment. Maybe you should have brought that with you.
So wearing the face mask.
Yeah, it really came in handy. Matter of fact, I broke my jaw playing against the Mets. And I coached for a couple of years in the 90s. And I was coming from the batting cage, and the guy that broke my jaw was John Stearns. And he's got his players with him. He's got about 10 guys with him. I got about 10 guys with me. And Stearns, he was going to be cute and say, "Hey, Dave, how's that jaw coming?" And I told him, I said, "It's coming along fine." I said, "But I played 14 more years. What did you do?" And Stearns was giving me
That's fantastic.
the jab.
Yeah. Dave, you had a great relationship with your teammates in Pittsburgh. You also had a complex relationship with the city itself. I remember you making the comment about Barry Bonds in the city of Pittsburgh and saying that Barry Bonds is outspoken. I think that the people of Pittsburgh felt it's a syndrome. If you've got to apologize for being successful, if you're successful as well as black and outspoken. As you look back, what do you consider your lasting legacy and relationship with the city of Pittsburgh?
Well, the city of Pittsburgh wants you to apologize for being successful, and that was something that I refused to do. I always put myself on the line. I told people what I was going to do prior to doing it. I predicted 2 batting titles. When the leaves turn brown, I'll be wearing the batting crown.
One of my favorites.
Well, I got one that you really love. I used to use on Sunday. There's only 3 things for sure today. The sun's going to shine, the wind's going to blow, and Big Dave's going to go 4 for 4.
Dave, I got to tell you, when we were first approached about having you on the show, I texted that quote to Jason.
Yes, that was the first thing that he said to me. He was very excited to have you on about that.
So Dave, you talked about Barry Bonds and you being outspoken. Yesterday was Jackie Robinson Day. What did Jackie Robinson mean to you? And what do you think about where baseball came from the Jackie Robinson moment to your generation to where it is now?
Well, Jackie's the reason that we playing. I mean, Jackie did everything that he needed to do to be in baseball as a black individual. And Jackie did things outside of baseball that was phenomenal. And without Jackie Robinson, baseball wouldn't be what it is.
So you end up leaving the Mets and you go back home to Cincinnati to get to play for the Reds. What was it like to go back home, get healthy, and have the success you did with the Reds?
Well, everybody wanted to play for their hometown team. Every young player that I can think of, that was their goal. I'm going to play for the Reds one day. And that gave me an opportunity to fulfill that goal. I came to Cincinnati, had an opportunity to play in front of my mother and father, my brothers and sisters, and fulfill the dream of playing for the Reds. I did all that in one swoop. And it was a thrill playing for the Reds. Playing with Pete Rose, Eric Davis was a guy that I mentored, Barry Larkin, Paul O'Neill. So I had a chance to play at home and mentor some of the best young talent that we had in baseball.
Pete Rose said you were like a father to some of the kids and he should have given you half his salary. And there's names like Eric Davis, Barry Larkin. As you went to Milwaukee, Gary Sheffield, who said you were the ultimate leader. You said they were like your sons. What was it for you about mentoring and teaching these new guys that was so special for you?
Well, a lot of them kind of reminded me of myself, and mentoring Eric Davis was like actually me myself, having an outstanding ability, just telling him what it takes to be a star in the major leagues. You got to play hurt sometime. And that was something I tried to get across to him because he had about 4% body fat and world-class speed. And I told him about how to play and try to prevent from getting hurt. Don't leave the ground as much as he were. So it's just little tips that I gave him. And it ended up paying off.
In addition to being a mentor and a great player, you continue to be a community leader and using your platform for good. It's something Jason and I talk about with guests all the time. You have the Dave Parker 39 Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about what drives you now to continue to use your platform to help other people?
Well, I got Parkinson's myself. And when I first got involved, I was attending a banquet they was having for a Parkinson organization. So I attended and spoke that night, and the people came after me again to get involved, and I chose to do some fundraisers. And I did golf tournaments. We did dances, various things to generate revenue. And the golf tournament is doing extremely well. We had one in October that did $48,000, and that was the third time I had put it on. So I'm just trying to dig up some money for research. Maybe we'll get lucky, find a cure for it, and it'll benefit a lot of people as well as myself.
The website, if people want to help you with that, is daveparker39foundation.com. The book is Cobra, A Life of Baseball and Brotherhood. It's available now. Dave Parker, thanks so much for giving us some time and for everything you've done for the game.
Well, thank you.